I want to talk about the Chiefs-Raiders game yesterday, as the Raiders shocked the world as they upset the Chiefs with a score of 40-32. And the thing that everybody is talking about today is, how does this loss massively affect the Chiefs? And in my opinion, it just honestly doesn't. They're still the Chiefs, and they still have Andy Reid, they still have Patrick Mahomes, they still have Travis Kelce, they still have Tyreek Hill, they still have Chris Jones, they still have Tyrann Mathieu. Like, they're still a very, very, very talented team. They're still the defending champs, but everybody's coming for their neck. That's what happens when you're the defending champions. But I will say this about the Chiefs. This year they felt like they've been kind of more dependent than usual upon Mahomes, which is understandable. They just paid him $500 million. But what I mean by more dependent upon Mahomes is, Mahomes is a magician with the football in his hands. I mean, he does things that other quarterbacks can't do. He does things that just other people dream about and of doing, and he does it, and it makes it look so easy. And you know, he does these crazy plays. Yesterday he had this insane throw rolling to his left, throwing across his body to the right, and it looked like he was throwing to the other side of the field, and somehow it ended up in the middle of the field. It looked like this. I don't know how he did it. I honestly was amazed by it. And then a second later, I'm like, yeah, that's Mahomes. And I'm not even a Chiefs fan, so I can only imagine with the Chiefs organization, the guys on that sideline, when you get used to seeing the same thing, it almost becomes normal. And what Mahomes does is not normal. Let's not be spoiled by this. Mahomes is maybe the greatest thrower of the football I have ever seen in my entire young life. I'm 20 years old. I've watched Brett Favre. I've watched Drew Brees. I've watched Peyton Manning. I've watched Tom Brady. I've watched Aaron Rodgers. I've watched Ben Roethlisberger. None of those guys can do even close to what that guy did, and is doing, and will continue to do, at all. Rodgers is the closest, in my opinion, to the arm talent. Now, Josh Allen, he's got the strong arm too, but he just doesn't do the things that Mahomes does. So let's just not get spoiled by Mahomes. I mean, let's not get overly used to it. Let's just continue to be amazed by these plays, because we're witnessing super greatness. But the Chiefs are going to be okay. I mean, they're a well-coached team, offensively and defensively. I mean, every once in a while you run into a buzzsaw, and the Raiders just were hot. They were a buzzsaw. They came in with a great game plan. They watched the Chargers tape. They watched the Patriots tape. They said, hey, I think we can figure something out here to stop Mahomes in that offense, and we can score a lot of points here. Because the Chiefs defense plays very aggressive and takes a lot of risks. And if you have the players to be able to exploit their risk taking, you can do things. I think there are a couple teams in the AFC that can do that on a regular basis. But another thing is, to beat them, you have to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. And there was some things said yesterday that kind of caught me off guard, but I'll get to it here in a couple minutes. But you got to remember, the Chiefs, they're in the AFC West. So are the Raiders. The Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers are literally all building their organization around one common goal, and that's dethroning and defeating the Chiefs. So it's no shocker that the Raiders were able to beat them yesterday. This is what they're building for. Now let me talk about the Raiders and Derek Carr, because yesterday Carr played very good. He does normally, though. He does, like, his completion percentage is high. He doesn't throw a lot of picks. He's smart with the football. But yesterday he was taking deep shots, unlike what he does. He's a West Coast offense, so a 2-3 yard completion is acceptable in that kind of offense. And if you go 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards in that kind of an offense, they'll give you the thumbs up, because that's what you're supposed to do. But he was taking deep shots, and he looked better than I've ever seen him in a long time. Now, he didn't take the unnecessary sacks that he normally takes. When the play broke down, he did a good job of doing better than just taking a dumb unnecessary sack or trying to run for it and failing to do so. And he actually took shots downfield, like I said. And he had a 59-yard touchdown pass to Nelson Agholor and a 72-yard touchdown pass to Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs had 2 catches and had like 120 yards. I mean, that's just the kind of home run hitter they got with Ruggs, and that's why they took him as the first receiver off the board in the draft. Now, they were aggressive, the Raiders, all game long, and it paid off for them. But when they needed to, they were able to pound the rock with their running backs, and specifically Josh Jacobs, to help drain that clock and not give the Chiefs the opportunities to score with time, And something that blew me away, this is the thing I was talking about earlier, it's the one thing that blew me away. During the broadcast, it was 4th and inches. The Raiders, they end up having to take a timeout. They originally were going to go play action and hit Alec Ingold, the fullback, in the flat on like just a little flat route. Gruden called a timeout. He didn't like what he saw. He put Zay Jones out there. They literally run the same route with Zay Jones coming out of the slot. They converted the 4th down. Is that aggressive? Against the Chiefs, I think that's a normal call you have to make. You never punt the football back to Mahomes. Ever. If you get the chance to run out the clock and it's 4th and inches and you convert this and it's ball game, you take that every single time, because guess what? Mahomes is going to get the ball on the 10-yard line and take it to the end zone, because he's shown us that he can do that time and time again. But yesterday during the game, Charles Davis said, now after they converted that, he said, honestly, that was not the decision that I would have made. I would have punted that football back to Mahomes and let him go back and try to drive the entire field. And it was almost like he was saying he didn't believe that Mahomes and the Chiefs could do that. And it blew me away. Because as a color commentator, that is Charles Davis, a guy that I have massive respect for in this industry, to say something like that, that's an extreme hot take that I don't think people are talking about enough, that he said that. And the only reason they're saying it is because they won. If he says, that's the decision I would have made, I would have punted the ball back to Mahomes, and Mahomes goes down and wins the game, that's something that's probably not going to get talked about either, but just more Mahomes magic that we're starting to consider normal at this point. But I'm excited to see what Las Vegas can do. Can they actually be a threat? I think they can actually make the playoffs as a wild card this year. They have a decent team. Good offense, solid defense, good run game, nice wide receiver core. Derek Carr is playing very well, just like he kind of always does. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do the rest of the year. I like Gruden. He's one of my favorite coaches. My mom, that's her favorite team. She loves the Raiders, and she loves Gruden. She really likes that team. She actually didn't like when they traded for Antonio Brown, just because she was tired of Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh. And then when they got him, she said it's not going to work out. She literally called it, I think that week. She said he probably won't be there to start the season. And my mom was dead on. And I just find that to be hilarious, to be honest. But I'm excited. The Raiders are going to be a good team this year. I'm excited to watch them.
BB Sports Media.